Love, peace and love.
Hey, Astral Boyz.
Astral Boyz back in the building, holding it down.
You know, too deep, but it's all good.
Much love to the brother Pierre.
Hey, for real, bro. Don't even worry about it. You know what I'm saying? That's why we here.
We out here in these streets.
It's not like he definitely helped us either. You know, definitely get us back on it. So, peace and love, y'all. What's good? We in it. We in the city. It's about to hell on us, shit, out of nowhere.
Yeah, hopefully the lights stay on.
Hey, for real, they were flickering earlier and shit, bro. Like, what? Come on, man. A lot of shit been going on. A lot of vibes. A lot of just, you know, shit to be aware of and still be thankful for. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we here. We love this. We trying to do this little podcast, bring a positive message as we do. Without P Money, it's gonna be interesting, but he's always here with us still, regardless.
Yeah, but today we're gonna cover a very special topic, something that a lot of people talk about, especially in music and in popular culture, and maybe it just isn't explained thoroughly.
Oh, what's that, God?
The third eye.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Let me rub mine, make sure it's awake.
The third eye, otherwise known as the Anya chakra, in its proper Hindu title, or its Hindu title. They, along with the Sanskrit culture, are some of the first to document it, along with the Kemetic people and some South American and Central American cultures in Mexico. And
shout out to Olmecs. That's where I got this. You know, this reminds me of it. You know, the turquoise with the Amazonite stone, with the energy that brings. Y'all do y'all research. I ain't gonna tell you everything. So shit.
Yeah, and it really ties into the third eye, because the indigenous spirit and the spirit of the indigenous people, in which the way that it played out through our interpersonal connection and how we seem to be more linked and we seem to have more peace of mind. There wasn't as destructive of war. There was battles, but we seem to have a deeper understanding.
Indigenous, though, hold on, before we get into wars and all. Indigenous, what you mean by that, God? Like, what would you consider, or what would you say?
Well, indigenous, it represents the source humanity. And when we study human history, we recognize that the indigenous cultures of each major continent, country, wherever you're at on the planet, melanated peoples are the common denominator between all indigenous factors. So when we talk about things like, for example, black and brown history, whether it be whatever Hispanic country you want to bring up, or Latino country, or any part of the African diaspora, much parts of Asia, you know, when you get into the indigenous sources of those communities, the melanated people are the ones that you come across when you start digging deeper and deeper. So when we get into indigenous knowledge, we're talking about the people that inhabited the earth and had it originally thriving as a civilization indigenously. So like these people had certain abilities due to their perception, and that was heavily linked to their third eye, and them having that open, and them taking part in a lifestyle that allowed for their third eye to be open.
So I mean, shit, right then and there, bro. You can go. I'm saying back to the chalkboard, but I mean, so that people, that group, indigenous group, definitely still lives on. Definitely still lives within us. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to, because, you know, we talk about this outside, and we study and do what we do, still learning, still don't know shit, but at the same time, that has been coming up a lot, you know, especially my family and the Mexican pride of knowing your roots and knowing where you come from. That was something very, very talked about, and especially for my mother, you know, going through the Cesar Chavez parade and, you know, trying to get equal rights and all that, you know, just definitely pushing that. I guess that's why it always pushed me to question the history and the roots. And it seems that now that you bring that, the black and the Mexican, like that bloodline is connected, if not one and the same. You know what I mean? And, you know, you can definitely tell, like, based off the character of their offspring now.
Yeah,
like,
even the traditions, you know, the rituals are the same, you know, the headdresses, you know, the dances, the food. You know, like different aspects of the cultures, a lot of things are way more global than they are individually isolated in the communities, because we've done so much mixing, and people have been traveling the planet longer than Europeans say we've been traveling the planet. And that's another one of those perception things. And when we talk about the third eye, it's important that we know that we're not just simply talking about a mystical concept.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about something that has a physical application to our anatomy, and it's located in between the brows and the forehead area at the top of the nose. And
it's an energy point.
It's an energy
more
point.
so than a little.
Well, it's a chakra point, yeah. So it's an energy point to access, which it's more of a wheel of energy, because it's a vortex being a chakra point. Meaning it has to be balanced with the other chakras, but the third eye in particular, it's linked to the pineal gland and the pituitary glands, which, you know, are very tangible. And that's something that can be measured and seen. And our lifestyle can calcify or decalcify that pineal gland, which will allow for more or less third eye activity. You want your pineal gland to be as least calcified as possible.
So stay away from that toothpaste with that fluoride, all that shit.
You know, aluminum, different things that are inside of certain products.
MSGs.
They may have they do have an effect on you.
They definitely are modifying our DNA and our genes, you know what I mean, on multiple levels. Shit, melanated, non-melanated, you know what I mean? Well,
it's more about genetics at that point, because we've gotten to a point where we face a lot of colorism in our communities, whether we're speaking like strictly internally in the black community, there's colorism. In the Spanish communities around the world, there's colorism. There's colorism in the Asian communities.
Oh yeah, you talking about...
You know, because at a certain point, we've been conditioned, and there has been a lot of mixing, and genetics play a large role in terms of dominance. Certain cultures or ethnic groups, in terms of their genetics, are more dominant than others. African genetics tend to absorb whatever genetics it mixes with, and then it kind of trickles down, so forth down, like the melanated chain, as you can tell. But also, it's interesting to note that some of the darkest people on the planet do not live in Africa. Which is important for people to understand, that Africa simply is the root of the earth. All continents break off of Africa. When they talk about that Pangea structure due to plate tectonics.
That's when the Lemurian and Atlantean area.
Africa happens to be the only continent that's still rooted to the earth's, you know, actual core structure. Most every other continent is drifting and floating or sinking. You know, which is how we have lost parts of continents.
Shit, Texas
and
too.
Parts of the United States, like Texas, the Gulf Coast, California. They talk about that a lot. But
yeah, my family over there talks about that. It's crazy.
It's important. Like the third eye chakra is linked to also specific ailments. You know what I'm saying? Like things that, for example.
What you mean, guy? Hold on. Ailments, physical ailments, mental.
Yeah, like both. Like, for example, you have tension headaches that are linked to the third eye, migraines, visual defects, short-sightedness, long-sightedness, glaucoma, cataracts, sinus problems, ear problems.
If it's not active, there's
if it's underactive or imbalanced,
right.
Because it could be overactive. And if your third eye is overactive, meaning you have too much going to that source, that energy vortex in particular, then it could force sanity issues.
You start seeing illusions and shit.
But there are certain people who can see and hear things who have a balanced set of energy, and they're known as what people will call psychics or telepaths, or they're able to control the energy that's circulating through them to where they don't cross a sanity threshold.
Like them kids in India that who's Nityandas. Yeah, that's crazy. A skeptic came out the crowd, and you know, two of them actually, and two kids were blindfolded. They tested the blindfolds on the actual, you know, people who didn't believe them, and then they put the blindfolds back on the children, and those people in the crowd wrote down something actually in their own pen, pad, and paper, whatever, and gave it to the children to read, and they read that shit. Yeah. And instantly, it wasn't even nothing like, oh, let me take. She grabbed it. She like 6, you know, to 5 years old, blindfolded and everything. grabbed it. I seen that video. It was crazy. It was very, very enlightening.
Yeah.
And
but children and younger people have more active third eyes. Your third eye from infancy, you're fired, you're wide open. You come out the womb as a completely sentient being. You're very much aware of all the extra dimensional presences that extend beyond the third dimension. And as you get older,
Astral.
you kind of dumb down, you know, and as you dumb down, you get more of the normal, everyday, this is reality. That mysticism stuff doesn't make sense. But if you pay attention to children, they're very, very vocal about things happening out of the ordinary that adults don't necessarily get to experience at the rate that children experience it.
And while,
like, for example, me, myself, when I was a child, I could tell that I had a really, really profound something going on in my mental space to where my observation was abnormal. I could tell that I was observing at a rate that certain people around me, culture, environment, where, you know, these different things, the food that you grew up eating, the music that you grew up listening to, these different things influence your intuition, and they guide your ability to think and actually navigate your life. So depending on who you are and where you are and all these different variables, these things will open or close your third eye in itself without you being aware. So like, and if you're already coming from a young state to where you're less tampered with, you're gonna be more open, you know. And that's why babies sometimes stare off at stuff and they're like looking at things that aren't in the room, or like they can communicate back and forth with certain things that an adult wouldn't, or they can talk to each other, but we can't talk to them. Simple stuff like that. Like they have their own path of communication.
It's crazy because I know, of course I don't remember my youngest age, but I know I was very spaced out. I was always told to pay attention. I was always told to, you know, just look over here, you know, trying to focus in on one thing. Come to find out that I may have been in alternate states with my imagination, potentially maybe even manifesting some down here, you know what I mean, not even knowing that, or, you know, not even being taught that, kind of being taught out of it, actually, especially when you go to public school, you know, pay attention. I think there's something wrong with them, you know what I'm saying? They want to put me on shit. My mom was mad. Like, damn, bro, you know, just a youngster.
It's perception. Kids have a great ability to perceive. As a, you know, from working around kids a lot, they can see through what's necessary. If you don't explain to somebody why something is necessary in a real way to where it penetrates their inner self, it's going to be pretty much always a front, even if you think they're doing it. They don't really get the actual application to their internal self. And we teach kids a lot about external applications of stuff, especially like academics. Definitely. Like every academic subject is about how are you going to use this outside of yourself to further yourself in life. But when you become an adult, you realize that you're empty on the inside. And then you have weird levels of crisis as you get older, because you realize that there was something that you maybe could have or should have picked up on at a younger age that no one told you. And you could be any age when you have that moment of realization, but it's just important to have that moment.
Real quick, did you think it's funny how all them old people turn to church when they get older and stuff? Like found Jesus or found something later in life when they knew they should have been doing it. I mean, my bad. That's just one example that came to me, because
when people
they get connected to spirituality, it seems like later, or even that thought, even if it has to be through the church, that thought of going internal, you know, and
but experience makes you want to seek out peace. Most people don't think about opening their third eye and increasing their intuition and perception on life and getting outside that box, that comfortable mental space, you know, like
I don't even think that's a place to go to.
I don't know if like people even realize that their experience and their pain and their suffering kind of encompasses their actual existence.
Yeah,
like your existence is to suffer, but the duality from the suffering is when you handle what comes to you, there's another side of that creates peace of mind, because you can understand how the suffering isn't necessary. If you don't know why it's not necessary to suffer through your perception of what's causing you to suffer, you're gonna continue to kind of dwell in it.
So if you don't self-reflect, and if you don't ask them questions, and if you don't really just be honest with yourself, it seems like you, and of course more internalizing and work, it seems like we're really gonna be making that suffering worse. You know what I mean? As we get older, bro,
it's not really making it
not
worse.
But
you're not making anything worse ever. Like, peace and enlightenment can happen within a week if you open yourself up to it. Because peace and enlightenment is perspective. Once again, my peace and enlightenment is not the same path as somebody else's peace and enlightenment.
Right.
But you can still guide somebody down steps to help them through their healing process, and it can happen really quick. But it takes an awakening. You never know when your personal awakening is gonna happen. You just need to dedicate your time to prioritizing the fact that it will happen. If you prioritize the fact that it will happen, nothing will get worse for you. A lot of the times people say that spirituality brings on more negativity, or like when you open yourself up to these deeper concepts, you tend to worry more or you build anxiety.
Or
that's simply only because you need to properly put yourself in the right position around the right people and absorb the right information to understand that you are protected at all times if you're truly embarking down a spiritual path. All known energy is coming from you. Your body is the temple of the ultimate Most High.
I said to that, damn.
There's nothing that you should be worried about encountering outside of you that will affect, because you know that's what we're getting into with the third eye. That's kind of why we titled the episode The Third Eye and Creating a Divine Reality. We need to create a divine reality through altering our perception and using all three of our eyes, and not just two eyes, which are bound by dimension. These two physical eyes, they show us a lot, and a lot can be told to us through body language and other things that we can pick up and perceive through other people and other things. But there's another channel that we can look through that gives us intuition.
That you can feel, but you can't always see.
Yeah.
That like, shit, mother's love, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's definitely, damn, that's crazy to say that, because it's doing the studying and doing the work and practicing the little practices I know. I've been definitely finding myself more in that meditative state to at least be open to that idea of it opening and being more active, you know, about becoming more aware of the shit that I've definitely eat, drink. That shit's definitely been helping, you know. And for somebody, you know what I mean, who it wasn't the worst childhood, but it was the most, you know, balanced, you know what I mean. It wasn't always a home, it wasn't always parents, you know what I mean. So with trauma, going through that, becoming the man, figuring all that goes with that, you know, expectations, all that, to trying to really finding myself, you know, like going internally and learning these terms, bro. Like, they definitely been applying. Like, I definitely been applying and finding some results. So I want to thank you for sure, definitely even talking about this, because I know it could be a bit much, you know, for somebody who don't have nobody to talk to about this, but they feel it. You know, they probably in a room with everybody, but they feel alone, like they can't connect with somebody, and that's kind of sometimes related to
and that's something
like,
that also, they say spirituality brings people to feeling alone a lot, and that loneliness is due to the fact that you haven't necessarily yet gravitated toward the like minds that are waiting on you. You know, so like, it's all about gaining the perspective that timing is divine, because the human perspective of time, it doesn't really exist the way that we put the pressure on it and the way that we're told it exists. It's based on the sun going up and down. We're talking about a universal perspective.
Before we get to that, hold on. We got to give them what they want, man. We got to get back to it. Shout out P Money. See what's going on with these beats.
Yeah.
Before we get, you know, because, man, already then and there, I felt like I should have been taking some notes. What's going on? What we got, though? Let's peep. Hey. Oh, okay. Shit, they want to go on some John Legend. What's up? Okay.
Yeah,
let's do it. some
Astral.
church. We go to church. Church is here. Astral Boyz. Yeah, never fear. Always think clear. Intentions. Shit, keep him away from fear. I gotta do things, nigga. I gotta make them there. The dreams that I think, the shit that I see, the person I wanna be, shit, all that I believe. Matter of fact, I really know. Matter of fact, I got soul. Now I'm just off the top. Astral Boyz in this hole. I'm out.
Hey, yeah. Check it. I like to eat vegan chicken with my vegan French toast. I never brag or boast.
Nah.
I'm finna come down. I propose a toast.
Woo.
Man, oh man, I'm like a dragon in the sand. Watch me land.
Yeah.
You get 3 wishes. Call me Omega Shinron. I'm dropping like 3 dishes.
Hey, shit.
Like Chris Paul.
Snake.
I'm coming down.
Yeah.
Downtown in the foreign.
Yeah.
I ain't never did it. I feel like Lauren.
Hey.
It could all be so simple. We got people's heads popping like pimples. Oh man, I see you. The universe smiling. The stars look like dimples. Oh man, it's the ripples.
Yeah.
Throw a stone in a pond. Disappear like James Bond.
Damn.
Into the darkness.
Yeah.
Don't stay too long in the flesh. It could lead to
something you really don't want to contest. So chill, and we just getting this off our chest. We freestyling this bitch, you know who does it best. Astral Boyz. Hey,
Astral Boyz in the building. Hey. You know we had to get it on the smooth beat one time. Know what I'm talking about?
Hey, you know these are random, so I'm usually just pick and play, seeing what happens, seeing what we say. Shit, you know. God,
hey, you know what I'm saying? We out here.
Shit. P Money, you would have killed it too, I know.
Hey, I can hear him now.
You can hear him right.
Hitting the shake one time.
Had to get him with the bagel. Yes.
Hey, shout out to Pierre.
Hey, shout out
Much
to
love
the
through the Astral.
For real.
Much love through the Astral.
Shit.
It's important.
Back to it.
Yeah, it's important that we have these conversations with our communities, because these are the things that separate the prophets from the civilians. And what you're recognizing is special within a prophet, and the people who we look up to, like Malcolm, Martin, Bob, whoever you want to name throughout history, that really shaped and shifted culture and the times. And when I say earlier, like, time doesn't matter the way people think it matters, I'm not saying that it's not a part of our everyday reality, because everything that we do in this country, in this culture, in this society, in this time is scheduled. You know, we work 9 to 5s.
Yeah.
You get paid on schedule and time. Everything is based around a time,
like
in a system that's set up. But what I'm talking about is a system that's been set up from the beginning, a universal system that has an accordance. You know, like when you line up with the universal, more cosmic principles, you're protected in a grander sense. And time affects the human. Like, time is the master if you're bound to the human levels of reality.
I see where you're going. I see, yeah.
You see, like, so time is definitely a function, but it should not control and manipulate the way that you think and believe about yourself or other people. And that has a lot to do with being present. And when you're more present, you have more of an ability to perceive through your third eye. And
so hold on real quick. As far as being present, you meaning more, of course, in the moment, more aware of your situation you in day to day, like really be aware of the choices you make and the thoughts you continuously have. That I got you, because by doing that, even slightly, I know I'm slacking. I still getting the lower nature, still, you know, the human self, and forgetting the God self. Even doing that, bro, like with a genuine intention, I've had wonderful blessings. I had wonderful results, and just even energy from people. And times I really needed it, you know what I mean? That I couldn't always look outside of me for. I couldn't really even always go to my loved ones, because maybe I'm not trying to put it on them, you know. And then something comes, a message, a symbol, inspiration, music or something, that'll definitely be connected to that, you know, in my heart. Like, okay, bro, like, get out of that. You know what I mean? It's bigger than that. Like, there's definitely something going on within that you need to be more connected to, and I call that the the higher self, the soul self,
most
high within I, all that, like.
And it's the channels to the most high, the higher self. Your third eye is the last point in which you master, in which the crown can be placed. Right. So once you open up that third eye and your vision increases, then you start to feel and behave different. And like what you were saying about having the ability to manipulate your reality in a positive, divine way. So like when we say creating a divine reality, the third eye is linked to a lot of what people call spiritual powers. That's why I say like prophets. Like even the ones that you read about in your spiritual texts, the ones that existed in ancient times that performed amazing things. Documentations of humanity through cultural points of view. Because at a certain point in time, it's very obvious that we had capabilities that we don't have now. That even with our elders, there's a reason why your grandma, your grandpa, your great, if you are blessed to have those people still around and they're positive parts of your life, those people have the most insight and power, and whether it be prayer, meditation, their touch, like you can feel that they have a more intuitive force based on their experience. And that's the power in being an elder. But age isn't necessarily everything, because you can meet somebody, maybe a 12-year-old that may have a certain position internally that gave him insight that someone who's lived 100 years may not have picked up on. Old souls. And those old souls have awakened third eyes at earlier points. And that's how you can kind of tell an old soul, through the eye contact. Even when you like talking to people, so you have to use your two physical eyes as a stepping stone to your third eye, because your third eye is above your two physical eyes. So what we're perceiving with our two physical eyes, we have to then train our mind to then open the channel of our third eye and look literally through that point and vibe with it. And that may sound weird, but if you vibe with it for a little while, you'll start to pick up on that concept. So and then you'll take what you're seeing out of your two physical eyes, and you'll be able to pick up on points and understandings that aren't necessarily being told to you, or maybe that person is hiding, or different feelings or intuitive points that you maybe just thought was a hunch in the past. You can maybe look into it insightfully, or you can scan yourself, you can scan others, you can see where people are at emotionally. How should you position yourself? Your third eye is important because it shows you how to position yourself, and it also is the controller of your willpower.
Hey, shit, man. All y'all putting in that work, busting your ass in work, y'all better bust your ass for your own internal work, because that's for real. Because we all need that peace, and we deserve it.
There's a reason why we get put on that daily schedule. It leaves you with very little time for yourself.
Very little time, bro. Like,
we live in a capitalist community, and it's important to understand that it's not a political point, but it's a factual point that capitalism is meant to be exactly what it sounds like. It capitalizes on the parts that exist within it.
So we just pretty much, their engines, they're
taking the energy that we could very much be putting into levels, ourselves and each other, to exist and survive without these so-called forms of payment that can be degrading depending on who you are and what your profession is. And it's unequal depending on gender and race and who you know. Like a lot of things could be eliminated with third eye awakening, but there's a reason why these things aren't taught. And the key is always with children. If we could get to children earlier, like from pre-K to 5th grade.
That's why they want to get them shots so young. You see that? They trying to get them shots young, bro.
And there's more and more of them. But instead of increasing the way that we protect ourselves lifestyle-wise, we keep finding more and more ways to conveniently circumvent putting deeper thought into our existence. It's like, yes, these forms of technology that we're coming up with, they can be helpful at points, and they can make our lives more convenient, but there's a certain point in which we slowly begin to abandon what actually is human existence. Because the human existence is meant to teach you to go back home. Some people, I was just reading earlier today that you could describe our lifetime as us all walking each other home from school. this lifetime is school. You're meant to learn a process of existence to get to a certain point. Yeah. Home. We're going home.
We're just passing through.
We're passing through. We notice that it passes, and it hurts us because of the attachment and the love that we feel here.
We all feel.
But we're all walking each other home in a sense.
We are soul.
And we need to be connected.
Not a body with the soul. Yeah, for sure, dog. I definitely feel that. And it's crazy you say we need to, because you see the people who don't have that connection, and regardless, melanin or not, if they're aware of that and they not practicing it, or at least keeping it up within their love or loved one's relationship, or somewhat aware of the more internal, then their relationship seems to be very, very...
Yeah, and the third eye awareness, it goes beyond just simply melanated people. There are people, of every culture that have third eye awareness. It's not just like only blacks and Latinos and Asians are aware, because that's definitely not true. And I think people can tell that through individual reactions, but on a mass level, there is a point in which that becomes a factor, because culturally, on a mass level, there is a hierarchy in terms of whose third eye is more awakened than others. Like in terms of the black culture, it was the DNA structure of the individual allowing you to be more awakened and connected to the source. So depending on your DNA structure, that's determining how connected you are to the source, and how hard you may have to work individually to gain certain connections that some people may pick up naturally. And then you may, and then some people are really so far removed that they almost have like a reptile type mind, or like they're very, they're very root chakra based, lower natured self. That's what that's getting into. You want to be higher natured. That's your third eye. You don't want to be so lower natured and have everything focused in between your navel and your sexual organs.
Right. I mean, at one point we know that's heavy. You know what I'm saying? As people going through that and still stuck in that lower nature. So we know that's tiring, that's draining, and we know it's unbalanced, and we know we got to do something about it. I think most of the people do have intuitions to know, but I don't really feel like the responsibility after they know, or the consistency after they know, is something we want to keep up with, because we already, like you said, so tired in the system we already living in and working. It's like my thing now is, how do we incorporate those practical practices in everyday work life for 5 minutes or something, or 10 minutes while you're driving, or something, you know what I mean? Like, because some people may just not have time, or may even care to put in that much time, but if they do the little things, what would you say would be some little things that help you?
Well, I think little things would be practicing mindfulness early, and don't be afraid to open up yourself to something that is maybe taboo based on society. And it is sort of isolating, because you're deciding to make a decision for yourself.
Right.
You're deciding to go within yourself and sort of drop the things around you and maybe some of the attachments, and say, you know what? I'm struggling within myself internally. Let me love myself. Let me go within myself. Let me be with myself. Trust myself.
To make a decision.
Focus on myself.
Yeah.
Really listen to myself. And what happens? What happens when I silence my mind? What happens when I sit with myself? Why does that scare me? Why do I need this substance? Why do I need to go to this place? Why do I need to do this? People get really dark and twisted with stuff like that. And you need to kind of sit down, because emotions are simply messages steering you in a direction consciously. Because when you feel something, it's energy, but it's pushing you. That's why you have a reaction, or else you would stay still. The energy is pushing you. It's a message. You feel it for a reason. Everything is taking place in your existence for a reason for you. So if you feel something, you need to sit down and feel it and embrace it.
Yeah.
Look at it as a companion, because not every time you feel something negative in life is it bad. Sometimes you need to feel something to push and force a point of growth that will allow you to then achieve heights that you may have been fantasizing about, but maybe the path to that fantasy that you have in your mind isn't what you think it is. And the things that are shifting and changing in your life, you need to sit back and gain a perspective on, in order to actually look at it as
definitely
something that's pushing you in a direction that you may be unsure about. But they say you don't necessarily fear the unknown. You can only fear the known changing, because you can't fear something you have no concept of. People get attached to their comfort zones and what they already know. And when those things start to move around, shift, break around, fall apart, then they fall apart simultaneously.
Yeah.
So, like, the biggest piece of advice in terms of people dealing with really complex internal issues is, it's like facing a bully. You know, see what it's really about. Check the temperature of it. Because you're obviously feeling it. You're going through something. What in your environment is enhancing these feelings? Who in your friend group? What about who you are around?
Yeah, because I'm sure a lot of kids are going through that, you know what I mean? Like, definitely like, a lot of youngins, and I know they struggle with a lot of internal questioning and just energy imbalances, and you know what I mean? What is something we could, you know, kind of simplify for them? Like, you say be mindful, for example.
Yeah.
You know, like
breathing. Like,
yeah, like breathing.
You should be present. Like, when you ask, how do you define being in the moment? Simultaneous with your breath. You should be with your breath. Your breath is a reflection of your mind, like the God Alim, the master taught us.
Hey, shout out Alim, man. That's our
peace and love.
Teacher, peace and power, and his wonderful goddess.
Yes.
And
we, you know, that is the key to, you know, pushing that point. You know, being mindful with your breath. Your breath.
Start there with breathing,
simulates your mind. If your mind is panicking, your breath is frantic.
What did he say?
You know, if your breath is calm, then your mind is calm.
You're right, because he was like, you can go 3 weeks without water, or 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food, but you can't go 3 minutes without breathing. You know what I mean? Or something like that.
You know, it's like, breathing is essential now, like, immediately. Like, when you stop breathing, things immediately change. But you can,
aware of that.
And that's why breath work is important, because you can then manipulate the ability and how breathing affects you. So, like, you can go a lot longer than that without food and water, for sure. And it's definitely dependent on your conscious state, because
wasn't there also breathing techniques to activate the third eye?
There's definitely prana to activate the third eye. There's prana to activate every chakra point in your body.
Right.
And these different breathing techniques can be physically applied to physical points in your body, like your lungs, your heart, you know, your stomach, your digestive system. You can do breathing techniques to heal headaches, stomach pain, you know, menstrual cramps, you know, different things that many people go through and they suffer through, that they feel like they may not have a choice in. You know,
by simply breathing.
And third eye awareness, because it gives you insight not only into what's around you, but into your internal self. If you can fully see and scan your internal self, then you're going to be in a much better position on a regular basis than the average person.
I had some homies actually say that they could do that they could go. One of the homie in particular said he can go and he can see how his cut was being healed. You know what I mean? Within his when he had this little cut underneath his calf or something, he said he can see it when he closed his eyes, how it was being hit for some reason. You know what I mean? And it translated to a dream or something like that. That's crazy, because also too, the same kids were talking about body scanning, which we're coming and talking about right now, which is not just cuz, you know, no synchronicities, but that's crazy how the divine timing is working right here, right now. Because it's definitely real, and we definitely, you know, ain't trying to fool nobody or even really trying to tell anybody, but there's some genuine insight here that can help on an internal, spiritual, mental level, and it has to do with this energy that's within us, it sounds like. And if we become more aware of it, we do things to really, really be responsible, to connect to it, or, you know, to keep it protected, you know, we can get some wonderful results as far as healing and insight and answers, and that's great, bro, because I'm also practicing it too, still slowly, I know, with our schedule and shit, and what we do. I mean, from especially 7 years back, you know what I mean, I guess when it really hit, you could tell, you know, the shit we been through, bro, you know, I definitely got some uplifting, more peace, more okay with things. Like, I can feel my lower nature self kind of like, it's this weird like shift though, you know. I know as you get older too, you're supposed to, you know, mature and all that, but but nah too at the same time. Like, I just found like I'm really more connected to it.
You want to find your inner child as much as possible. Let's find another beat.
Definitely. Oh yeah, for sure. We're gonna get on that. It just tripped me out because I can't help it. But what's up though? Okay, my man said he's ready. What's going on? Like I said, this is random. Astral Boyz in the mix. Album coming up.
Yeah. June 27th. You know what I'm saying? Shout out.
Be ready.
Shout out DJ Screw.
AP, get some beats ready. Be a hoe. Okay, let's see. See if we feeling it. Okay. Yeah. It's called Dark Souls. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we get to scrapping or get to acting. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we really lacking. I don't even know. But I can't get caught up in trapping because my life was very, very cold and it was a long time ago and I ain't doing that no more. So I'm gonna chill. When even talking about it, spill a little bit of details, but I dip to the hills because you can't really know me unless you my homie. And doing things differently like you owe me. When it comes to the spiritual plane, that's why we put these things in your brain so you can obtain some things that really help you change. And shit, let it bang. This beat is fucking killing me. And shit is insane.
Hey, the beat is insane.
Yeah.
Flying through the sky like a crane.
Yeah.
Finna come down with the game on lock. I got the pad with a key. Finna come through for free. Dropping the bars. Take some.
Yeah. Okay.
The candy. 3 Musketeers. We missing one. Yeah. But he come back with the gun.
For real.
He gon' let it go.
Splat.
And you know he got the blammer. Yeah. We all gotta stay with it. We come down and we gotta stay jiggy. Hey. And we gotta stay icky. Yeah. Gotta keep it nasty. Hey. I feel like
yeah. Hey man, hold on. What else I got? You know we had to switch it up on that.
Let's keep. What other beats are
Let me see. What? Hold on. We doing retro, electro. I'm gonna have to, you know what I'm saying? That might be another. I don't know about that one. We can do any beat. I mean, it's not like we can. But. Okay, we might. I had to tone it down a bit, like we do. Let me change my voice too.
You gotta get the deep voice on this.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That Barry White.
Where'd you find this?
Hey man, for real. Shout out Wayne.
Mixtapetrap.com.
Whoa.
Hey.
Okay. Yeah. It's called Sonic. Let's go. Give me some bit of tonic. Let me get in it. Let me get with it. Let me see really how I'm sick with it. I don't know. I just flow, bro. I'm just doing different than that I did before. Oh shit, I almost fell off a bit. Let me chill, relax. I forgot I took some sips. What was it? Oh, the rum, I think. The homie looked out, came through. I was on it like I was on a. Ooh, I don't even want to say that though. Switch it up a little bit and then go a little more. I don't even know. Just chill a little bit. I'm nigga spit. I'm out this motherfucker. Yeah.
I'm in the back of the whip, eating the buffalo cauliflower, screaming higher power.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm up here flying. I must've, like Neo, jumped off the tower.
Woo.
But I made it across because my mind's unlocked. And I know I'm a boss.
Yeah.
On the first try, I ain't need another one because I'm already flying. I'm a brother and I'm a son. Oh yeah, I'm the one. I'm in the sky and I'm shining, looking fly.
Yeah.
I might put on a peacoat. Oh man. I might be like, where my amigos? Hey,
they right here.
Usually expressed, but now it's dos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I can rhyme in Spanish though.
Yeah.
I don't need a beat, I can go a cappella ho.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm out here with my primo. Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Old
Mix. Keep it real.
Shout it out.
Turquoise.
Shout it out.
We out.
We out.
Hey.
Not yet though.
Nah.
We gotta leave them with a little bit more.
We out of.
We gotta leave them a little bit more. Just a little.
We're out of the freestyle.
Of course. But I was gonna.
the beat.
Oh,
the beat dropped abruptly.
Yeah. My bad. I'll try to push play on the next one and it paused and
it's all good. It's all good.
I guess he was meant to die. He was killing them. Hey, it's your website. We're switching it up.
Nah. But I think it's important and it's something that I've been realizing that has deep application in my life personally. Third eye awareness. It's kind of been prioritized. I've been getting a lot of universal signs. Just envisioning, practicing and I've actually noticed quite a few sensations in terms of opening up. It can start to feel sort of like a dull headache or massage, almost like you can feel like the point in your forehead start to kind of slightly pulse, or you get like a vibey sensation, a little tension, and like it's just about perception and letting go. And it's a pretty great process to go through and like let go and feel your body transforming into an enlightened being, because you want to be able to achieve that light body, and that light body can be achieved through enhancing your perspective. You know, engaging in certain things that increase your perspective help a lot, like Tai Chi, yoga. Tai Chi is something that I've been practicing. Yoga is something that I've been wanting to get more into, because it's, you know, is obviously really powerful, along with Tai Chi coupled. You know, it's a master blend.
And then the workout, we doing is to stay active. I noticed when I wasn't active and I wasn't doing things more so as far as investing in myself in any activity. It was a disconnect, and it was an unbalanced feeling in mind state, you know what I mean, opposed to doing it now, working out, you know what I'm saying, with you, getting up in the morning when I can't.
Because it is connected, because people talk about it like it's all separate. We're talking about mind, body, and spirit.
Mind, body.
When you take care of your body, you have a better mental place to take care of your spirit.
Definitely.
You know, the better you feel physically, the better you can be allowed to feel mentally, because if you're suffering physically, you're going to be mentally plagued. You know, like you're not going to be comfortable.
Like. We know what that.
And then on vice versa, if you're suffering mentally, it can affect you physically, and then you kind of by default neglect higher sources of information and things that can impact you, and you can kind of get more stubborn and locked in and closed in your ways and into what people call like depressions, different stuff like that. Like, it's really important to take care of yourself and be well-rounded.
Definitely.
Like, they've turned a lot of really helpful and powerful things into hobbies when they should be literally just routine parts of human life. Like, the same way people wake up and brush their teeth in the morning, the people should be taking care of their physical body. People should be doing breathing exercises. Even if it's not specifically Tai Chi, there should be a part of your day, you know, where you are dedicated to something higher than yourself that is meant to enhance your internal self.
Definitely.
We go through so many physical rituals, and we go through such a mentally and spiritually draining day in existence, especially the average person working. They may have kids, they may have relationship problems, they may have family issues.
Definitely.
They may be going through really abnormally negative stuff. They may be in an abusive relationship. They may be going through, who knows what people are going through individually in their houses and in their personal lives internally. And without awakening to these sides of life, it just increases the sicknesses, and hurt people. And when hurt people it creates more hurt people, and then you give birth, and then you hurt people younger, so you don't even give people a chance.
That cycle continues, and it's like,
it's weird.
That's crazy.
And you can see it play out in kids, you know, definitely.
That's crazy, because just knowing, you know, personal loved ones, and you know, just actually seeing them, you know, not to judge, but really just to see, you know, how they doing, how they living this year, how's things different or not, you know what I mean? And for them to, like, kind of go through that sickness is very, very, that's what fucks with me. More of the reason why I'm doing this, you know, this work, to find some insight, to give somebody something simple to apply or to be aware of, to get out of that shit. Because it's so common now, it's like, hey, that's just what it is. What it is.
That's a great point.
It is what it is.
That's a great way to get into what we starting to work on now. Like, something that we've been saying in the past episodes. You know, like, that mentality is poison, and we need to work to get rid of that mentality and do something to really help the community.
It's all just materialistic, not even caring about the other side. Even though we feel it, we definitely feel it, but we choose to numb it or kick the can down the road type shit when it comes to that work. And it just seemed like we are sick, you know, as people. So, you know what I mean? Like,
we became healers.
Definitely. That's what we want.
This is something that we want to bring to y'all, and we've been telling y'all for a while. We have an announcement to make.
Email Bay.
You know, Ashe for sure. Peace and love. And
peace and love. We went over there. We seen them. You know, first saying this ain't nobody. We just, you know. Yeah,
we went and we studied under masters. We got certified and attuned in many spiritual services, and we're ready to start bringing that to the people in our community, and we want to help you guys. We want to help you guys heal.
Right, sessions,
prana sessions,
breathing
sessions, healing different ailments,
counseling. You were saying in some sense, whenever we get that,
we're gonna be bringing herbs. We have all these things. You know,
we got the sea moss.
We have sea moss.
Hey, sea moss is still going. If y'all know,
we have sea moss ready now. That we are, providing to people.
Been selling, damn, bro.
That is something that we have a great, connection with. It's all wild crafted.
It had 92
minerals of the essential 102, and there's many different elements that it can help you with.
Definitely. Yeah. And I've been taking it, and I made the gel myself to actually try the product. And I would not give it to nobody that I wouldn't do this shit my damn self. And that shit has been working. Me and my girl have been taking it. It's been, damn, with the package we got, with both of us taking it, it almost lasts us both a month. So it could last.
It definitely is a month
supply. And a half, 2 months.
But it's not going to keep that long.
Yeah.
You want to keep it for about a month, and you want to keep it airtight. And the benefits of it are very powerful. It's very linked to what Dr. Sebi was talking about in terms of alkalinity. So
giving the body
it helps with thyroid conditions, inflammation. It helps you build muscle. It helps you burn fat. It increases your metabolism.
Your alertness.
It does a lot.
Cognitive ability.
Your energy levels. It does a lot for you. And we're going to slowly start increasing the herbs and different plant-based medicines that we can provide to the people. Next, we're looking at bringing in soursop leaves straight from the source. Everything that we're going to be bringing in, we're going to be meeting with people in other countries and communities that indigenously grow these plants and that have real sources of it where we can provide as not authentic of a source of healing as possible to the people that we love, which is our community. And it means a lot to us to be able to do it. And right now, we've just started with sea moss as our first herbal product. It's a sea vegetable.
Definitely.
It's wild crafted, not ocean, farmed.
Bro, that shit's crazy. It smells so powerful. That's wild.
Yeah.
But I definitely can notice the difference between taking it and not taking it in the morning.
We'll be making more announcements on Facebook.
Yeah, for sure.
To let people know more about it.
More so, Jahari. I'm getting there, y'all. I'm getting on it slowly. I need to make that transition because I do want to be connected more to people. I do care. I just, but yeah, sea moss. It's the purple and the
gold mixture right now.
Right.
And we know our communities go through a lot in terms of health-related illnesses, whether it be high blood pressure, diabetes, thyroid conditions, weight loss problems, fatty organs like fatty livers, alcohol abuse, kidney damage due to diet. All of these things can be helped. You don't have to live your life with constant doctor visits, intense medication regimens, in anxiety of how every night's gonna go, not able to sleep, not able to walk, not able to move. You can do a lot for yourself that you're not gonna be told by the average person or the average, medical professional, because there are certain things that just aren't simply taught in the cultures of schools that we have in this country.
Here in the West,
and now,
it's not.
And while I'm not saying that don't ever go to a doctor, because
of course not.
It's a great thing to have a balance to compare it with. It's a great way to get diagnosed. Like once you hear what you have, and they tell you, oh, we think you're going through this, you can then take matters into your own hands.
Be a better researcher for sure.
Look into your own illness, see what causes it, what deficiencies may cause it, what in your lifestyle may aid it. What can you do to slow it down by yourself? And then we're also here for y'all. We want to help you open your third eye, and we want to help you cleanse and heal your bodies.
And empower yourself, because we really care. And we know we all can. You can, what they say, if one of us ain't free, or if we all ain't free, then none of us are free, you know what I mean, in a sense. And that's really what internally we, for our mind's sake, our peace, our power that we have that kind of been kicked to the curb or kind of been hidden from us, or history, whatever the fact may be. It's the age of information now. No more excuses. You know what I'm saying? Definitely got to do it. Because if not, we see our elders. A lot, I come from a big family, and a lot of them, unfortunately, are taking the medical only route. You know what I mean? Doing the shots, the pills, the monthly visit. It's expensive, and they seem to be more.
It's a regimen, it's a lifestyle. You don't have to go through things for so long. We can work towards alleviating the issue altogether and then forming a preventative lifestyle. One thing that people do not talk about in this country is a preventative lifestyle. Everything is about how can I avoid it through this? Like, vaccines, people call preventative, but I feel like there's a step before that. Even if that's something you feel comfortable doing, to each their own.
Right.
But
okay.
Not everybody may feel comfortable doing that, and to act like there's not other solutions is kind of ridiculous. Because
like God just didn't
we
make
definitely
herbs.
have a powerful existence, and through our minds and our bodies and the plants around us, when we combine these things and we work in harmony with these things, we have a lot of things that we're capable of.
And our body heals itself. Once I started learning more of that too, like the body literally regenerates itself, its organs at a certain time period, and it really, really, if you put it in the right state and then give it what it needs, the 102 minerals and vitamins or minerals it was made of, it automatically does it. You don't got to tell your organ to heal it. You know, it does it. You know what I'm saying? From that divine energy that definitely we should tap into and feed more and connect with or research about. Like, you know what I'm saying? We trying to do or been doing, you know what I mean? And experimenting and putting ourselves through it, taking shit, man.
Now that we've put ourselves
looking at me crazy, shit.
through this level of intensity with our families and our loved ones, and we've sacrificed a lot to get to this point, and now that we are at this point, we want to open ourselves up as much as possible to the community. Like, if anybody has questions, reach out to us on social media. If you're going through anything, if you need help with anything, we're going to be more active on social media here coming up in the next few weeks. Making more announcements, posting different products that can help people, because we want to, once again, help you open your third eyes and become more enlightened
and empowered
and tap into your own personal power. And we want to help you heal and be healthy and be strong. And we don't want to see people fill in hospitals and doctors' offices unnecessarily.
You know, there's God in me like there's God in you. You know what I mean? Like, that energy can be overthrown. So in my sense, you know, I don't want to disconnect from it now that I'm a bit more connected to it, and I could definitely feel it. You know what I mean? There's definitely sensations, you know, there's definitely results, and actually there's been signs and symbols, you know, that's definitely been pushing this. And this storm and everything, shit going off, what happened, you know, we didn't think we gonna have it, but to us have this conversation, it's to empower that, you know what I mean, that we trying to tap into, or we are tapping into with the just cosmic ways. It seemed like just actual, just forgotten, natural, universal, multiversal laws, you know what I mean, that we just need to be applying, you know what I mean, once we learn. And thank you, God, again, for sure, because, you know what I'm saying, you already know what we've been through, and for us to be in this mind state now, it's only giving us the more power, you know what I mean, and it's to give back, you know, and to empower other people, because it definitely is real, you know, it's straight up, bro. We all feel it.
Definitely.
We all know it. Like, in a sense, maybe we may not word it as you or call it what you call it, in the sense that we may, but y'all feel it, and y'all gotta empower it within you first, for sure. And that God self is what we talking about, that healing self, you know, that higher self, that self that deserves peace. You know, you deserve that shit. You deserve to be empowered. Like, fuck out of here, man. Like, and that's just what we about, God. I appreciate it, man. I know we running out of time and shit, but just getting caught up in this conversation.
Yeah, it's a beautiful conversation to have. You can have it for hours.
For real. And I mean, maybe in the future, you know what I'm saying, we might, who knows, a little longer. You know, I know the guy gets on 4 hours. But anyways.
Yeah, definitely.
Man.
But it's all about conducting ourselves as the gods that we are, moving around on this earth, you know.
For sure.
And we have to exemplify that power with wisdom and understanding, because that's what, once again, we separate a prophet from a civilian due to their ability to perceive and speak into existence. And about existence and around existence, through existence, past existence. You know, like, these are all things that are open and available to every sentient being, but you got to tap in, you know, and much love.
We definitely tapping in. Much love to y'all, you know what I'm saying, and y'all's families on all levels.
We'll be back
for real
very soon with more content. We're looking at increasing the content. Y'all like and subscribe to our YouTube page.
For sure.
We're going to be dropping more content, trying to diversify in which ways the Astral Boyz is kicking the knowledge, you know.
definitely. We at it. We really mean this shit. You know what I mean? We really putting in the work outside of work just to try to build some shit, you know, that we really need and we want to, because we feel so strongly about it, we want to just keep sharing it. And, you know what I'm saying? Who knows what community we build. But much love, y'all. Always peace and power. I don't know how much time we got left.
I think it's our time right now.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, right on the dot.
Hey,
much love, everybody.
Much love,
we'll
y'all.
be back soon.
Yes, sir.
Peace and power. Sending
love and blessings.
Great healing energy through the airwaves.
Always.
I know y'all feel it.
For real. Much
We
love,
out here.
y'all. Peace.